Hello, today is Friday, March 19th. So happy. This is a video for those people absent or need some extra help with angles. For self-start, students are turning in their homework packets for the week, so don't worry about that. There's your math jokes for the day. What kind of tree do math students climb? They climb a geometry. Wah wah. And what kind of pliers do you use in math? Well, you use multipliers. Wah. As far as information goes, we're going to start a new topic today, but we're going to try to get through it in just 1 week. So please do your best to be here, so you can get all the information. If you are going to be absent, make sure that you're going to watch the Canvas videos and do the work that's assigned, so that way you don't fall behind. We're going to do 2 feedbacks next week. We're going to do one on Tuesday, and then we're going to do the other on Friday. So if you will not be here on Friday, please let me know as soon as possible so we can try to make other arrangements for you. For today, like I said, we are starting a new topic with angles. So we're going to go through some vocabulary, do some reviews, and talk about adjacent. And students will also be doing an activity in class, so those people at home, you'll miss out on that, but don't worry too much about it. So for vocabulary, these should not be new to you. These are things you've probably done before, maybe remember, maybe not. A vertex is where the point where 2 lines meet. So when I have like an angle that looks like that, the vertex is right there. So it's the point where those 2 lines meet. An acute angle are angles that measure less than 90 degrees. So they're going to look something like this, something like this, something like this, where it's not quite 90 degrees. All of those could be considered acute angles. Obtuse angles are ones that measure more than 90 degrees. So something like that. Something like that, where it's not a straight line. Something looks like that. Those are all obtuse angles. A straight angle is an angle that measures exactly 180 degrees. So that's the one that's a straight line, even though I can't really draw a straight line. And a right angle, you can't see it because of that. So a right angle measures exactly 90 degrees. They're usually going to be marked with a square in the corner like that, saying that that's a perfect 90-degree angle. So you need to know those things. But like I said, you probably learned those in the years past. So you probably should know how to read a protractor. So a lot of times with a protractor, there's 2 sets of numbers. So there's numbers on the inside and then there's numbers on the outside. And students get confused trying to remember which set of numbers to use. So what I tell students is look at the angle. Look at this angle right here. What kind of angle is that? So that angle right there, that's an acute angle. Acute angles measure less than 90 degrees. So if I look at this, I can either choose from 145 or I can choose from 35. Well, which one of those sets of numbers is less than 90 degrees? In this case, it's this one. So this angle measurement would be 35 degrees. So you just want to look at the angle and determine, okay, is that going to be an acute angle or an obtuse angle? And that should help you remember which set of numbers to use for a protractor. So in this case, we're looking at angle CAB. So CAB would be this angle right here. Again, it's not very straight, and I understand that. That's an acute angle, so I want to use its number less than 90 degrees. So when I look at it, it looks like that's a 30-degree angle. Angle DAB, I'll use a different color. DAB, again, that's an acute angle. It's less than 90 degrees. So I'm going to use the inside set of numbers, which is 80. Let's see, it looks like it's not quite 80, it looks like it's about 79 degrees. How about EAB? EAB, well, that's an obtuse angle, so I want to use the measurement that is more than 90 degrees. So in this case, it looks like it is about 130. How about angle CAF? So CAF, that's another obtuse angle. So we want to use the angle measurement that's more than 90 degrees. So it looks like it's about 150. DAF, which would be this one right here, that's another obtuse angle. So it looks like that's going to measure 101 degrees. And EAF is this one right here, EAF. That's an acute angle, so we're going to use the measurement less than 90 degrees. So it looks like it's about 50. So that's how you use a protractor. We don't necessarily use protractors much in 7th grade, so this is more kind of a review just in case. But we are going to talk about adjacent angles. Adjacent angles are angles that share a vertex. So remember, vertex is where lines intersect. So there's a vertex and there's a vertex. And they share a side. So they're right next to each other. So for example, if I said what's adjacent to N, well, M shares that side and the vertex, and P shares that line or that side and a vertex. So for N, we could say it's M and P. O shares a vertex, but it's right across from it. It doesn't share a side. If I were to say S, then we'd look at the vertex and the side. So we have this side right here. So T shares that side and that vertex, and Q share that side and vertex. So we say when they're adjacent, that they're right next to each other. So when I have these two adjacent angles, they tell me that COB, which is this angle right here, is 53 degrees. BOA is this angle right here, and that's 63. But how could we find the measure of angle COA? That would be this big angle right here. Well, to do that, adjacent, when they're right next to each other, you add them together to get the total of the big angle. So I would just do 53 plus 63, which is 116 degrees. So how do you find? When they're adjacent, you just add them together. So if I'm given this problem, I have this angle, which is 25. I have this angle, which is x. So remember, we're adding because they're right next to each other. And up here at the top, it says the measure of PRS, which is this big angle right here, is 80 degrees. Remember, is means equals. So look, I have a one-step equation. We've done these before. So I'm going to draw my fence. I need to get the x by itself, so I need to subtract 25 from both sides. That gives me an x on this side, and that gives me a 55 on this side. So what's the measure of x? Well, it's 55 degrees. So again, remember, when they're adjacent, when they're right next to each other, you add them together. Okay, so we need to add because we have this angle and it's adjacent to this angle. So I'm going to do A, I know it's kind of a terrible looking A, plus 58 equals the total angle, which is right here, and that measures 88. Again, a one-step equation. I draw my fence, I subtract 58, and I get A equals 30. So what's the measure of that angle? Well, it's 30 degrees. How about this one? Well, they're next to each other, so I'm going to add them together. A plus 78 equals 111. Draw my fence. I'm going to subtract 78. And I'm going to end up with A equals 33. So the measure of that angle is 33 degrees. Now sometimes they want us to do maybe a two-step problem. So measure of this angle, remember they're adjacent, so we're going to add them together, is 2x. Plus, we're going to add, remember, when they're next to each other, we add them, 60, which is this angle right here. And up here at the top, it says the measure of this angle is 100 degrees. Oh, now I have a two-step equation. I think I've done these before. Subtract 60, so we're going to get rid of the number that does not have a variable. That gives me 2x left on this side and 40 on this side. So now I'm going to divide both sides by 2. And the value of x, 40 divided by 2, which is 20. So there you go. So again, remember, when they're adjacent, when they're next to each other, you add them together, just like what we did up here, to get the total measurement. So there you go. Now, in the coming days, we are going to learn more about supplementary angles, complementary angles, and vertical angles. Supplementary angles are angles, when you add them together, they equal 180 degrees. Complementary are angles, when added together, that equal 90 degrees. And vertical angles are right across from each other. And they are also equal to each other. So we'll learn more about that in the coming days. If you have any questions, contact us through email or through Canvas, and we'll talk to you hopefully soon. See you later.